if I see one more video of someone trying to flip a boat, I'm just, I don't know. Seems to be a new trend right now of people wanting to flip boats. You know, take something old and make sure it runs and blah, 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 blah. Here's the issue. So this was about a 2-month project after work every day, coming over and working on it. This had older carpet, older seats. The motor needed some work. If I were to flip it, I could have cleaned the carpet, the seats, made sure the motor ran, and that would be fine, right? Except for the fact that the wood was rotted, the carpet was falling apart, and it needed way more work, wiring, a ton of work to the motor, just to make sure that the next owner was good to go. The reason I'm making this is because I want people out there to not get scammed, especially if they're new into boats. One of the most important things, if not the most important, is the motor. Now I know this is a Force, which gets a bad rep, but I want to show you guys what happened. So what I've seen most people do is it's always fuel, so they come in and clean the carburetor, it runs fine, and then they go, oh, I can flip it. Well, you have to rebuild the carburetor, not just clean it. So there's your first step. All these fuel lines have to be replaced, because if you don't replace them, sure, it'll run fine for the time you took it out, but then when you go to sell it to someone, what you don't know is that this fuel line's deteriorating and all that crap's gonna go through the fuel pump and go back in the carb. So you gotta replace all the fuel lines, you gotta rebuild the fuel pump. Usually there's gaskets that are leaking. In this case it was almost every gasket, head gasket, exhaust gaskets, everything gasket got replaced. Fuel filter got replaced. Spark plugs, wires, and coils got replaced because they were original. The plugs weren't, but the wires and coils were. Thermostat got replaced. That's a lot of work and a lot of money. Came down here, I did some seals in the lower unit. I did the lower unit fluid, the water pump. I went through the trim pump. I did everything to make sure that the next owner wouldn't have an issue. Because, sure, you can slap this together and it'll run fine and you can sell it, but it's going to cause an issue. These old motors need the fuel system gone through, and you got to replace everything. If not, it's going to cause an issue for the new owner who may not be mechanically inclined and doesn't know enough about boats. So when you see people flipping and just doing a carburetor clean and saying it runs good, sure, it does now, but it's not going to, and you're a joke. You know, you're a joke for these new people. I did all new fuel line, new primer. Another thing most of these boats will need is a new battery. Batteries are important. If the battery's bad, it can actually burn out the starter, which this starter also had to get replaced. So that's also important. And then this boat was aluminum, but everything was made out of wood. So I replaced this piece of wood, this piece, that piece, the whole entire floor, the deck up front. That alone was like 300 bucks, plus all the stainless steel rivets and screws. Cost money. The carpet was 300 bucks. I had to recarpet everything because the old carpet was bad, and I didn't just want to vacuum it because the boat's 30 years old, so you can't do that. The seats, they had to be replaced. The old ones were bad. They were shot. They had to be redone. This had to be painted, more carpet. The key was bad, so that was another 60 bucks. Went through all the wiring and made sure all the fuses worked. Every single connection worked. And I came up here. This still isn't finished. I have one solid piece for this, but this was the front deck. Again, this all got new flooring. This got new leather. That side still needs to be done, but this got new leather. I mean, this is what it takes to get these things completely done and up and running. And we also got new tires because the old ones were rotted. Yeah, sure, they still would have towed, but they would have blown up at some point, so I had to replace the tires. The part that I still need to do is put the trolling motor on the front, and I need to buy a new battery for that. So in total, we're in this boat for a purchase price of $1,500 and then another $2,000 to $2,500 in parts, just to do it the right way to make sure it'll be good for the next owner. So if I get $4,000 for this, it'll be a wash, or $500 profit. I mean, it would literally be a wash, but I'll sleep better at night knowing that I didn't screw someone over. But I think the most important thing is that if you're gonna do it the right way and not screw people over. So many people just want to spray carb cleaner in here and say it runs and be done with it, but you can't do that. It's 30 years old. It's gonna need work. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take money. And if you're gonna do it the right way and not screw someone over, you're gonna have to put a ton of work into it. Same thing goes for those jet skis out there. I'm not here to hate on anyone or be mad, but if you're going to get in this industry and want to work on these as projects, do it the right way. Replace what needs to be replaced as preventative maintenance, because it's not if it'll go bad, it's when it'll go bad. And if you do all this stuff, you're gonna have a reliable motor. If you just do the minimum, you're gonna have issues, or the person you sell to is gonna have issues, and that's just not right in my opinion. Other than that, it's a great hobby, great side thing to do. If you're looking to get into boats, they're a ton of fun, but just know that they require more work than what you see on social media. And yeah, say bye. We out. Gotta get people to work on boats so you guys can go with them.
Yeah, I gotta go on boats.